Again, welcome to Java Programming Language. This is our Unit 2, lecture number 1. In these lectures, we're going to cover the basic Java syntax. So this elementary programming part 1, covering again the basic Java syntax. So our main objective is to write a Java programs to perform a simple computations. Also to obtain input from the console using the scanner class. Again, to use the identifiers to name variables, constants, methods, and classes. So here we're going to learn the Java rules in naming identifiers. Also to use variables to store data. How do we declare variables in Java and how do we store data? And also we will run some few Java programming language. So we start with example 1. In this example, we are going to compute the area of a circle. So this program again will compute the area of a circle. And we shall go through the code here. So as we said earlier in the previous lectures, Java programming language again is an object-oriented programming language, which means even if we are writing a program to print out only one word or sentences, we still need a class. And normally in Java, our main class is the name of the file. And also Java program files normally end with extension.java. So here we have our program. The main class name is compute area. So that means our file name will be computearea.java. That's our main class. And inside the main class, we have our main method. So as we said in the previous lectures, the main method is where the execution takes place. So in this program, we have public class compute area, which is our main class. We open our curly brace, open and close last. Then we have the public static void main string argument. So this is our main method. Again, in our few lectures to come, we are going to explain the meaning of a public class and static void or the keywords. For today's lecture, we should know how to again declare a variable. So here we are declaring two variables, the radius and area. Normally a variable is more or less a memory location. So for example, in this program, I'm going to compute the area of a circle. So area of a circle, we know the formula is pi r squared. R is our radius. So which means in order to find the area of a circle, I would need the measurement of the radius. I will need the radius of the circle. So I declare variable radius so that I can store the radius of the circle. Now, when I calculate the area finish, I want to keep the answer. So I declare variable name area, and this is where I'm going to store my area value. So this is how we declare variable. We start with the variable data type, which is double. Double means it's a fraction. So double and the name of the variable radius. As we said earlier also, the Java program always ends with a semicolon. So here we have double radius semicolon, then double area semicolon. So we declare two variables. The reason why we declare two variables because area of a circle equal to pi r squared. Pi is a constant value. So we need only one variable to store our radius and also the result, another variable to store the area. So the next thing we did here is use the assignment operator. Java assignment operator is the equal sign. So in Java, the equal sign doesn't mean equal in mathematics, but rather it means we are assigning the value on the right side to the left, which is the variable. So this means we are storing 20 into the radius variable. Now, equal sign in Java means we have two equal sign, equal, which we call the equality. We will discuss that later on. Then next, we compute the area. So the area equal to radius times 3.14159, which is our par. So the formula is again r square par, or par r square. Now it's up to us. Later on, we're going to learn how to use the power method to find a square or a cube or anything. But here we know that a square means you multiply something twice. So we write the formula for now: area equal to radius times the power value. Then later we display our results. So we said in our previous lectures, to display a result in Java on a console, we use the system.out.print or .println. ln means after we print every finish, the cursor will go to the next line. So ln stands for next line. So we can see that in this program, we are not going to make any much decisions or repetition. What we are doing here is input processing the output. This is the basis of starting of programming language. Always we start with our input. Our input, I need a variable to store the data. So I declare variable name radius and I assign 20 to radius. So that's my input. Processing is to compute the area. So area equal to radius times par. Then after I do my process finish, I want to see the result, then I display, which is our output. So input, processing, then the output. So every time we are writing a program, we should always think about that. What will be our input? What the program need? What will be the algorithm to do our process? Then when we get our result, we need to print it. So if we run this program, we are going to get an output saying that the area for a circle of a radius, and the radius is 20. So you can see here, we wrote the variable name here. So any content in the variable will be displayed, which in this case is 20. Now, anywhere we have a double quotation is our string. So this string here, the area for the circle of radius will display with a space. Then if I want to display content of a variable, I don't need to put it in a double. If I put it in a double quotation, I'm going to print the word radius. So we just use the plus. This is operator to concatenate, to join the value with the string. Then later, we also print the content of the area. Remember, the area is our answer to compute the area. So we want to display the area. So yeah, we have two plus sign. Why? Because we need plus to the left to join the value to the left of the string. We have another string is double quotation. So we are joining it to the right. Then area doesn't have plus in the right side because we don't have any string. So only the left. So again, let's run this program and see our output. So this is our output. The area for the circle of radius 20.0. The reason why it's 20.0 because our data type is double. Double means it's a fraction. So even when I put 20, the computer will see it as 20.0 because it's double. Now, if I use int, it will give me 20. So here we are printing the screen here, the area for the circle of radius 20, so of radius 20.0 is 1256.636. Again, the area also is double, so it will display a fraction or decimal value. So again, that's our first program, and we will go to the next one. But before that, we will go through the program here on our slides here. So this is the program that we went through. So first, again, we allocate memory for the radius. We declare the radius double radius. This is our main method again, public static void main string. And as we said, every Java program must have at least one main class. For now, most of our program will be only one main class. And later on, when we start to write our own user-defined classes, we write our own classes, we are going to include it. In this case, we may have more than one class. So after we declare the first variable, we also declare our second variable. So this is just a memory location. Now we have two memory location. There's no values. Next, we assign 20 to the radius. Assign 20 to the radius. Then next, we compute the area. In order to compute the area of a circle, we need a radius. So here we say radius times 3.14159. Now the answer we get, we display the result. So the area for the circle of 20, because we have of a radius 20, is whatever the value is. In this case, it was 1256.636. So this is our output here. The area for the circle of radius 20.0 is 1256.636. So next, we are going to learn how to read an input from a console. So in our previous question, which we did, this program have only one input, 20. So even if I run this program 10 times, always I'm going to use only the 20. Only now, unless I want to change it. So for example, I can come here and change it to 40 or anything. Now, the best way to do this is we are going to run our program. Then we are going to ask the user to enter the value. So today we can run the program first time. It will ask us what is our input, which is the radius. I may enter 50. Next time I may enter 10. It can be any value. So we're going to learn how to read an input from a console, which is our keyboard, using the console. So Java have a special class called scanner. So we need to create a scanner object. So we have the class scanner. The object name is input, equal to new scanner system.in. The input is the name of the scanner object. You can give it any name you want to. So you can name it any name you can think of. But system.in here means we are using the keyboard. And our class again is the scanner class. And the new, we dynamically allocate a memory space. Normally, when we are creating an object in object-oriented programming, we use the new to allocate the memory space dynamically. So after we create the object input, this line, the main goal here is to create this object input using the scanner class. Then after that, it depends on the data type, what kind of data we want to enter. If it's a double, then we're going to use the next double method. If it's int, we are going to use next int method. So an example given here, as always, it's good also to ask the user for an instruction. So here we have system.out.print. We tell the user enter a double value. Then we create our scanner object. Then we use the input.next double. And then we need to, of course, when we enter the input, we want to store it somewhere. So here we declare variable name D, the data type is double. So this means when we run this program, it will ask the user to enter the value, the double value. When you enter it, it will be stored in a D variable. So let's see one of the program here, how this works. So here we have a program. We are going to use the scanner class. Now, anytime we want to use the scanner class, we need to import a Java package name utility or util. So here we start with, if you can remember our previous program, we start with the main class. We didn't import any package. But anytime we want to, there are so many different packages in Java library file system. But anytime we want to use a scanner class, we have to import java.util package. So if we like, we can import everything, or in this case, we just import only one class. So we have java.util.scanner, which means only the scanner in the util package was imported. Then we have our main class again. So the main class name is compute area with console input. So which means my file name will be compute area with console input.java. Then we have the main class again. This time we want to ask the user to enter the value. So we need to create our scanner object, which we call it input. Again, the name can be any name. Here we are calling it input. Then we have system.out.print, enter a number for radius. Then we have input.next double. Now the reason why we are using next double, because the data type is double for radius. So double radius equal to input.next double. Now we have our input now in the variable named radius. We can do the process now. Radius times power. The answer will be stored in the area. Now we can print our screen at the area for the circle of radius is whatever value it is. So here you can see that this program is the same as the previous program. The difference now is that when we run this program the first time, it's going to access to enter the radius instead of declaring the radius to be a specific value. So let's run it and see. You can see that when I go down, it's, they say enter input data for the program. Sample data provided below, you may modify it. So actually they gave us this sample input 3.85. So with 3.85, here we say enter a number for radius is 3.85. So the area for the circle will be 45.5666. Now we can modify this. Let's say I'll modify it to 5. And you can see that our answer also will change. So I'm going to compile and run. And when we look the answer, we can see the answer change. Along, so the program 5 point again is double. So as we said, the data type is double, so I need to enter 0.0. Even if I'm going to enter 5, it should be 5.0 because the variable type is fraction. Now let's run it and see. We can see the answer. Okay, for some reason, it's not working for us. So it will be the application. But again, the whole concept is, as we said earlier, anytime we run the program, we need to get an input. So enter input data for the program. You may modify it, but I'm trying to modify it. I'm not getting it. Let's try different value again. 3.1, maybe 2. Let's see the answer. Okay, so I need to create, when I compile it, I need to create the answer also. So here we can see the answer is given to us. So let's go through the program one more time. So the whole concept again, in order to use scanner class, I can write import.util.asterisk. This means I'm importing all the packages in all the classes in utility package. When you use the asterisk, then semicolon to terminate it. Here we can also, as we did in our program, just java.util.scanner, which means here I'm importing only the scanner class. That's it. Either two is okay. So here we say the performance, no performance difference is the same. Most of the time we prefer to use the asterisk because asterisk is only one symbol instead of writing the whole class name. So next we learn how to name identifiers in Java. When we say identifiers, we say the memory, the variable, the method, the classes, how do we name it? There's a rules. So for example, in Java, identifiers such as variable, and the names can be only letters. It can be uppercase or lowercase letters. Then digits from 0 to 9. then underscore with dollar sign. That's it. So the only two symbols we can see is underscore and dollar sign. And also the identifiers cannot start with a number. So you have to start either with a letter or the underscore or a dollar sign. But we cannot start the name of Java identifiers with numbers. And also we cannot use the Java reserved words. When we say reserved words, it means those words have a meaning, or the keywords, they have meaning for Java. For example, public or static there's a meaning for Java, or class, there's a meaning, so we can't use it to name. So this is how we deal with variables. So we saw it in our program to declare a variable and also to assign values to a variable. Here we are assigning 1.0 to radius. We do our calculation, then we print our result. Next, we give 2.0 to the radius as input. We do our processing calculations, radius times 3.14159. Then we print our result also. So to declare variable, we use int x or double radius or char a. So char a means we can store only characters like A, B, C, D, uppercase or lowercase. And normally characters, you have to be in a single quotation. A double radius means we are going to store decimal values. And int x, int means we are going to store only whole numbers. So here we are assigning 1 to x. Remember, radius was double, so we assign 1.0 to it. And also character, we assign uppercase A. It's always character will be in single quotation. So declaring and initializing in one step. So in our program, we saw that we declared the variable first, int x, semicolon, then we assign 1 to x, or x equal to 1. Now we can do everything in one line. So I can declare my variable int x, then I'll assign the value to it, then I'll end the semicolon. Same thing, double d equal to 1.4. So also in Java, we have what we call the name constants. Name constants are normally constant variable that it doesn't change. So if I declare variable and I start with the keyword fana, I need to initialize it. So when we declare, what we mean here is that in my program, everywhere I see pi, it stands for the value 3.14159. Anywhere I see size, the value is 3. So these are constant variables. The value cannot change. So fana, we always start with the keyword fana, then the data type int, and the variable name. Then we assign whatever value we think we'll be using as a constant. Now, with the naming convention in Java, it's up to you. There's no rules here, just suggestions. So, for example, first thing we should always do, which is very important, but it's not a rule, is that if you name a variable, make sure you have a meaningful and descriptive names. Even functions also the same thing, methods. So, for example, if I want to write a method to find a salary, then I can name the method salary or find salary. Same thing also applied to the variables. So when we are naming conventions, this is the most common one. We start with the first word, everything lowercase. The second word, we start with uppercase together, no space. Remember, when we went through the naming convention, we cannot have space in the name. So, for example, class name, if we have a class name computer array, we can name it computer array, no space between. And also the constants, always we need to capitalize all the letters in constants. and use underscore to connect words. So for example, this is a constant variable. We say mass underscore value. So these are some of the typical data types in Java, numerical data types in Java. So we start with the byte, which is -7 to -2 to the power 7 to 2 to the power 7, the range. Then we have short also, int, long, float, and double. So in the future lectures, we're going to learn how to use again different data type in Java. Now with the scanner class, after we get the input, here we use our data type double. So we use the double, but also that which is the next double. Also, if the data type is byte, we can use next byte or next short, or if it's int, we can use next int, or next long, or next float, and also next double. Also in Java, we have numerical operators, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and remainder. So we know the first four arithmetic operations. Remainder means if you divide two values, let's say 20 by 3, we say the answer is 2. Why? Because if you divide 20 by 3, the answer is 18. I'm sorry, the answer is 6, remember 2. 6 times 3 is 18, but we go to 20, so remember 2. The same thing applies to division. 1.0 divided by 2.0, that will give me 0.5. Now 30 multiplied by 300, we get 9,000. Then 34.0 minus 0.1, we get 33.9. 34 plus 5, we get 35. So we also have the integer divisions. Normally with integer divisions, our answer will be integer. So 5 divided by 2, and the answer is supposed to be 2.5, but since it's int or integer, the answer will be only 2, so we lost the decimal numbers. But if we make one of these two values as a double or float, a function, which I mean a decimal value, then we are going to get our decimal. So here it's only one decimal, 5.0 divided by 2, and our answer was 2.5. And also 5 modulus 2, our answer will be 1, because 5 divided by 2, the answer is 2, remainder 1. And here, modulus operator is to get the remainder answer. So that's the concept of the remainder answer here also. Now let's go through our last program, which is displaying time. Here they use the remainder. So we are going to ask the user to enter the time. So we have java.util.scanner. Our main class name is display time. We have our main method inside the main class. Then we use the scanner input equal to new scanner system.in. Now we ask the user to enter an integer for seconds. So we have int seconds equal to input.nextInt. Then when we get the seconds, we want to convert the seconds to hour, minutes, and then seconds. If it's very large, then it may go through days also. So here we start with minutes, which will be seconds divided by 60. Then the answer we get, for example, if our seconds was 67, but it have to be tens. So we get remainder will be 7. But in order to get the remainder 7, we have to use the variable again, seconds modulus 60. So that will give me the remainder. Then next we can print system.out.println seconds, whatever the second, let's say it's 20 seconds is 50 minutes, etc. So we print our results. So that's the concept here, exponent operations. We can use the math.power 2 and 3. 2 is the base, 3 is the exponent, so the answer will be 8.0. Same thing apply here, math.power 4.2, 0.5. 0.5 is like square root, so square root of 4 is 2. We have 2.5 and 2, which means we're going to square 2.5, and that will give us 6.25. We also have number literals. So in Java, a literal is a constant value that appears directly in the program. For example, 34 or 1,000,000, 5.0 are all literals in the following statement. Now, what's the difference between double and float? The difference is that one have a long decimal places, the other have a shorter. So here we say double type values are more accurate than float type. So for example, if we have 1.0 divided by 3.0, is 1.0 divided by 3.0. And since we have zeros, the answer will be 0.33333. The next one, we can use the float. So we use 1.0f divided by 3.0f is whatever answer we get. So we get almost the same answer. So that will be the conclusion of our lectures. Again, in these lectures, we learn the basic concept in Java programming language. For example, how to use the scanner with creating the scanner object and getting an input from a keyboard using, in this case, is int, so next int. So again, that will be the conclusion, and wish everybody the best.